We often talk about love as if it is a gentle breeze, a happy accident, something you stumble upon, unexpected and sweet. But what we don't talk about enough is the courage it takes to fall in love. We don't talk about how it's not always butterflies and fireworks, but sometimes a quiet, trembling step into the unknown. We don't talk about how love, true love, the kind that changes us, heals us, breaks us open and puts us back together, is not for the faint of heart. Falling in love is one of the most daring things you will ever do. It is vulnerability in its most radiant form. It is opening the most fragile part of yourself and saying, "Here. I trust you with this." Love is not passive. It is not weak. It is not just a poetic notion for songs and sonnets. Love is active. Love is powerful. Love is a choice you make every single day, to believe in someone else, and maybe even more frighteningly, to believe in yourself as someone worthy of love. We say, falling in love because there's a surrender to it. There is risk. There is motion. When you fall, you lose your balance, and isn't that what love does? It knocks the wind out of you. It upends your certainties. It takes your well-planned life and stirs it like a storm at sea. But here's the beauty: in falling, we rise. We grow. We discover pieces of ourselves that only come alive in the presence of love. In the glow of someone else's eyes, we see our worth more clearly. In the warmth of another's embrace, we realize how much we needed to be held, not just physically, but emotionally, spiritually, soulfully. Falling in love teaches us things no textbook ever could. It teaches us patience when timing isn't perfect. It teaches us grace when we make mistakes. It teaches us courage when we're afraid. It teaches us hope when the world seems heavy and cold. Yet, so many of us are scared. And rightly so. Maybe you've been hurt before. Maybe someone walked away when you needed them most. Maybe they looked into your soul, saw your deepest truth, and still chose to leave. That kind of pain runs deep. It leaves scars not on your skin but on your spirit. But I'm here to tell you, you are not broken beyond repair. Your heart is not too shattered to beat again. Love is not something you lose, it's something you learn. Every time love doesn't work out, you're not losing, you're learning. You're learning more about yourself, more about what you need, what you value, what you deserve. And what you deserve, what we all deserve, is a love that is real. A love that stays. A love that listens and laughs and fights and forgives. A love that does not make you feel less, but more of who you already are. But to find that kind of love, you must be willing to risk. To fall in love is to risk rejection. To fall in love is to risk disappointment. To fall in love is to risk heartbreak. But more importantly, to fall in love is to risk joy. To fall in love is to risk connection. To fall in love is to risk belonging. To fall in love is to risk being fully, gloriously alive. We live in a world that often tells us to guard ourselves. To not catch feelings. To be chill, to be indifferent, to keep our hearts locked behind sarcasm and silence. Vulnerability has become an unpopular virtue. But let me ask you this: has closing your heart ever really protected you? Has hiding your truth ever helped you feel seen? Has pretending not to care ever given you the connection you crave? No, because the only way to experience real love is to be real. Be brave enough to show your soul. Be bold enough to tell someone how much they mean to you. Be foolish enough, perhaps, to write the letter, send the text, say the words, "I love you," even when you're scared. Because yes, love is terrifying. But it is also the most life-giving force we know. It's what drives the mother to stay up all night rocking her newborn to sleep. It's what causes two people to vow forever, even when they know nothing is certain. It's what makes friends drop everything and show up when you're breaking. It's what keeps the human story going, this messy, miraculous, beautiful thing we call life. So, to anyone out there who feels like love is too hard, too complicated, too painful, I hear you. But I urge you, do not give up on love. Don't let fear keep you from the one thing we were made for. Fall. Fall again. Fall often. Fall harder. Not recklessly. Not foolishly. But faithfully. Love with wisdom, yes, but never with walls too high for anyone to climb. And if you've been waiting for that person, that sign, that moment, here it is. You are ready. Not because you're perfect. Not because you've figured everything out. But because love isn't about perfection, it's about presence. About showing up, heart in hand, and saying, "This is me." Flawed, learning, growing, but full of love to give. You are enough as you are. And when you fall in love, really fall, what you find is that the other person doesn't catch you. That's not their job. They fall too. And together, you don't hit the ground, you rise above it. Together, you build something that neither of you could have made alone. A home, a hope, a future. So fall, my friends. Fall in love with people. Fall in love with life. Fall in love with yourself. And when you do, when you truly, deeply let yourself fall, you'll find you were never falling at all. You were soaring. Thank you.